Okay, so here we have an exam question on division. A school took £832 selling tickets. Each ticket was sold for £4. So how many tickets were sold? So several ways of tackling this. Let's start just by writing down the problem. So 832 divided by the £4 here. 832 divided by 4. Well, immediately we can see that this can be simplified. So we can halve it to make 416. And if we halve the top, if we bring down the top value, then we've got to bring this down as well by the same amount. So we also scale this down by half, which gives us 2. And in fact, we could have gone all the way and divided by 4 because we can halve this again to get the answer. 208 divided by 1. But 208, we can just leave that as 208 is the answer. All right, so pretty straightforward. But let's use some methods instead of just doing it by simplification. All right, so the first method would be simply to write it down again, perhaps in the same format, perhaps using bus stop, but divide into it. So 4 into 8 goes straight away. This is 800, but 4 into 8, so we put 2 in the hundreds place, so that's 200 straight away. A large chunk of the problem has gone. Now we go 8 into the 30 here. Oh, sorry, 4 into the 30. So 4 into 3, well, we can't do that, so we put down a 0. Carry the 3 over here, and we've got 4 into 32, or 32 divided by 4, gives us, well, halve it to 16, halve it again to 8, 208. So that's probably the simplest method. Should work fairly well. Let's try another though. So let's try this time long division. And so this time we will use the bus stop. We'll say 4 into 832. So 832 divided by 4. All right, 8 into 8. Well, instead of just going 4 into 8 again, let's go 4 into the 80. Because we've got 80 and then we'll deal with the 32 afterwards. So 4 into 80 goes 20. So we'll write 20 at the top here. 4 times 20 is 80. Write that underneath. Subtract 80 from 83 and we end up with 3 in the tens column, so that's 30. Add the 2, 32. 32 divided by 4. Well, we can do that straight away again, so that's just 8. So we write 8 at the top. 4 times 8 is 32. Nothing left over, so 208 is the answer. Third method would be partial quotients, so we'll have a go at that. 4 into the 832 again. So 832, we've got to find a multiple of 4 that will get us into this problem. Well, we know that 4 times, let's see, 4 times 200, we could probably go for straight away. 4 times 200 will give us 800. So 800 underneath here, and we must remember to write the 200 on the right hand side here. So that's our first chunk. We subtract, so we have 32. And now we can think about this one. Well, let's say we know 4 times 5 is 20, so let's write down 20 as our next chunk, and that was times 5. Subtract the 20 from the 32 gives us 12, and now we can complete the problem. We've got 12. 3 times 4, or 4 times 3 is 12, so we've got times, we'll put our 12 down, times 3 gives us our answer. Well, we'll subtract first of all to get the 0, And now we've got our answer by adding these up. So 200, add 5 is 205, add 3 is 208. Okay, so 3 methods there for tackling the same problem, but even just simplifying it got us to the answer straight away. Let's see what students did when they tackled this. Well, unfortunately, although over half of the solutions were fully correct, with students realizing that they needed to divide the two numbers, unfortunately, some attempted, so a little less than half, attempted to multiply those two numbers. So they didn't realize that it was a division that they had to do. So that's the first misconception. Make sure you know if you're dealing with a division or multiplication. It seems like a lot of people made that mistake. A common incorrect answer was 28 instead of 208. How did that happen? Well, we seem to have a misconception here to do with the method that I used to start with here. So we've got 832. Whoops, a little slip there. Let's just write that again. Okay, 832 divided by 4. If we divide the 4 into the 8 and get the 2, and then think, well, now I can divide into the 32 without realizing that no, I've got to go for the 3 first, put down a 0. If we don't do that and then carry the 3 to make the 32 over in the ones column, then we've got a problem. Then we're going to just write down an 8. So I think that's the misconception there. It's a misunderstanding of the method that they needed to use here, and perhaps they would have been better using one of these other methods here. So that's a misconception, and that one was wrong. But the good news is that a number of students used a division by chunking up methods, in other words partial quotients, to find, well, first of all 200 times 4, which gave them the 800, just as we did up here. And then they followed correctly with 8 times 4 equals 32 to answer 208. So they didn't, in other words, do the chunking that I did here with going for 20 first and then 12. They went straight for times 8 here. They added the 200 and the 8, and they got 208. So the answer, 208.